A sport track video would be cool, nothing huge, just to look over your interior and relationship with the car. Let's talk about the sport track. My name is Thomas and welcome to my channel. You probably already know what this video is about because you read the title and saw the thumbnail. The sport track is gone. And this video is just going to be a quick little update about what happened, why it's gone, and what's going to happen moving forwards. I haven't posted in a while because I promised myself after releasing my last video that this was going to be the topic that I touch on next, and frankly I never wanted to touch on this topic. I never wanted to talk about this, and I never wanted the sport track to be gone in the first place, which is why this video has taken many moons to come out. For those of you that have been asking and waiting for another sport track video, thank you for bringing it up. It warms my heart to see that you guys still care about the sport track and wanted to see more about it, and I'm sorry that it took me this long to talk about it, but it feels good to finally have this weight off my shoulders now. After all, that truck is the reason that this channel exists in the first place. For those of you that are new, the Tinkering Thomas name wasn't the original name of this channel. It was Sport Track Automotive, and then it was Automotive School, and now it's Tinkering Thomas. But it all started off with the sport track. Even the first video on this channel was about the sport track. It was just recorded on my iPhone 5S held sideways, and I was super proud of it back in the day, and it was just this little update, this little review, this little tour of my sport track that I slapped on the internet and thought nothing of, and now it's turned into this, and I couldn't be more proud of how far we've come, and I have it all to thank because of you guys and because of the sport track. And that brings me to this. The reason I'm standing in front of this dirt patch is because this is where the sport track was held up for an entire year. I made a video in the past while I still had it about what happened and why it's in storage and if it was going to start up again and all this sort of stuff, but now it's gone and this is what is left. And you probably don't want to go check out that old video about a year ago that I made about the sport track and what happened and why I put it into storage right here, so I'll briefly explain. In the winter, it lost traction, the steering wheel spun all the way to the right and locked up, and I ended up going sideways and backwards down a ditch. Pretty much the next day, I was in a brand new Nissan Frontier because I just didn't want that to happen again, and I kind of felt almost scared to drive it. I still loved it, I wanted to work on it, I wanted to have it forever. It was my project truck. It just wasn't something I wanted to use as a daily driver anymore. After almost a year of having it just sit here, it just killed me too much to watch it there just sitting and rusting and not being used more than anything else, so I decided to slap it on the internet and sell it, and after just over a year in total of having it sitting here, just a few months later, I had somebody come by and pick it up, and this is all the footage that I have of that. People sell their vehicles all the time, so I know that to most of you this isn't very important and it's not some crazy big deal, but I wanted to make this a standalone video simply because I didn't want it to be some sly little comment that I slid into one of my next videos. I feel like the sport track has done too much for me and it is just too important to just be some little comment in the future. I feel like for those of you that have been here since the beginning and have subscribed because of the sport track content, you have a couple questions, so I'm going to answer as many of those as I can right now. Of course, I'm making these up myself because I don't exactly know what you guys are going to be curious about, but I'm sure I can take a guess. Why did I sell it? Well, as I already mentioned, it just pained me too much to see it collecting dust and sitting there and never being used more than anything else, and I wanted to pass it on to somebody else who was going to use it and put all the little modifications and changes to that truck that I made to use. Will I ever make a sport track video again? Hell yes. If there is somebody in Calgary, Alberta, Canada that owns a sport track, or even Edmonton or any of the little towns around here, and you've modified it or done anything to it, it could be an Adrenaline, could be a second gen, first gen, doesn't matter to me. I want to see your sport track and I'd love to make a little video on it. I still love sport tracks and I miss mine dearly. What's next? Recently I've really enjoyed making content on electric trucks and doing tours of new vehicles that are coming out. I know most of them have been Nissans, but I have a few lined up that aren't. So I'm looking forward to putting those together and releasing those for you guys. If you are a fan of other cars than the sport track, then feel free to stick around, and there's going to be lots more automotive content coming your way very soon. And that's it. So now you know, the sport track is gone, poof, out of my life. I wish it was still here, at least a part of me does. I loved working on that truck. It was my first vehicle ever, but there are greater things ahead of me, and I'm looking forward to those coming around the corner very soon. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe and hit that like button if you like what I do here on this channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, you saw Hey Thomas in the title of this video, and there's a reason why. Hey Thomas is this new thing I'm going to be trying out now, where if you guys really want to grab my attention because you have a question you think I could use as a video, or something you want me to film in the future, then in the comments down below of any video, just put Hey Thomas, and then continue on with whatever you're curious about or want me to make a video on, and I will do my best to put it together. Alright guys, thanks so much. Peace. Didn't know my neighbors had a pterodactyl.